All right, we are on. Thank you so much for joining, Arthur. So the purpose of this was to kind of bring more awareness to our audience about, who these companies are, who these people behind the companies are, and what makes them so great. But let's start with you telling us a little bit about, your journey, where you started, and how you ended up here in AI.
Okay, so I started a long time ago back in Ukraine. My story is very interesting because I graduated from medical university back in Ukraine, and then I switched to IT, and then I moved to the United States probably almost 9 years ago.
Wow.
And I worked for Apple. I right now currently employed at Allergan Aesthetics. But yeah, so probably you've heard about Botox, right? Product Juvederm, and that's basically what the company develops. And we are IT department who creates Ally product. Ally is a loyalty membership program, and that's basically what we're developing. And yeah, I'm IT guy, and starting from medicine, ended up in IT right now, and diving into AI a lot right now because this is the technology that develops a lot. It's not necessarily replacing people, but it's boosting performance a lot.
Okay, how do you think that it's improving people's performance in the workplace?
Uh, Especially in like software development, it's very easy because it's able to generate text, right? And code is a text. So previously, if you imagine a developer solving a problem, they don't have a solution. They have to Google something. They have to go through many articles, some videos on YouTube, and just try some solutions. They don't work. They try something else. So they spend a lot of time. Right now, with the AI being like a knowledge base that gives you an answer, and right now it's even able to create a code for you to generate that text code. They're able just to give you a solution right away instead of like looking for it and try it right away and test it. And if it doesn't work, maybe fix something. So instead of like spending hours for solving something, you're spending minutes. So this is the way how it boosts performance a lot for specifically, for example, for software developers or QA automation engineers and etc. And it has more and more and more applications right now, even for like people who are looking for candidates. They are able to process like hundreds, thousands of resumes at time.
All at once.
Yeah.
Okay, how does that work? I would want to know that.
I mean, like the context is everything. I mean, for AI, you have to be very, very detailed in what you're asking, because you can ask a general question, please pick me the best candidate from like these 1,000 resumes. And the AI will make a decision for you based on something, but it's not necessarily the best candidate for you. So being more specific, giving more details. So as bigger your prompt to AI is usually better the outcome.
Better response. It's like filtering it out. Okay. So give me an example of like one way that I could get the best of the best. Let's say I received 100 applications and I want to have somebody who is obviously a good cultural fit. I focus on that a lot, but also the experience, and then not a lot of movement. I don't like people who jump jobs too much.
Yeah, so you have to be specific about that with AI. So for example, if you have any specific requirements, you create that prompt specifically. You just don't you're not being like very broad in your request. You're actually putting details. So for AI, context is everything. So, for example, you are just very simple example. You are using ChatGPT, right? For example, right? And if you create multiple chats, you have one chat, then you ask a question about something else in another chat, and you create chat, new chat, new chat, new chat. It's a separate context. But for example, if you are having a long conversation in a single chat with ChatGPT about one topic, let's say you're hiring, you're looking for somebody specific, and you are putting one question in the chat, then AI answers, then you ask another question. So that the entire chat becomes a context. So AI remembers everything from this chat, from this conversation. So it means more details. So it remembers, okay, like 3 days ago, Bella asked me about that because that is important for her. So AI will remember that and will take that into consideration when answering this new question, right? But if you keep creating new chats, it will be having a separate context, and it has less details and less than better output for you, right? Not that bad, not that good as you would expect. So context is everything. So with AI, you want to give more details, you want to be specific, and you want to have that context. You may want to actually even, let's say you have a great example.
Okay.
Say, okay, these were my requirements before, and this was the best candidate. You can even provide details for AI. What was your past experience, and what was the best output for you, and give as much information as possible, and then AI will be able to actually give you the best answer.
Okay. How does someone who decides they're going to go to med school and follow the medical field go from that to this?
That's a long story, of course, but the times were different, especially in Ukraine, and that was related to corruption in medicine and etc. And it's comparable. I mean, like salary wise, career growth wise, it was even sometimes better to go into IT field and develop there than like remain in medicine, especially corruption and everything else. So maybe it doesn't make sense if you talk about the situation in the United States, but I mean, in Ukraine, it made sense. So I just made a decision at some point, and that's where I am right now.
Okay, perfect. And it seems like you created a product that solves a problem. So how did you stumble upon this problem, and how did you spark that? Oh, I think I have what it takes to create a solution for this.
I mean, like, you usually explore. That's how usually the product starts, right?
Okay.
You have a problem and you want to solve it, and then you basically try to find a solution. You find a solution, and then you share with everybody else. That's basically how it works. And it doesn't have to be. Sometimes it's a business. Sometimes it's a startup. Sometimes it just you are developing a new approach in existing industry, and you just share it through some posts, videos, or maybe attending a conference. So that's how it works usually, and that's basically what AI helps us with right now, right? Because everybody's exploring. It's pretty new for everybody, and people are trying to either build new products or build new approaches in doing something. So that's how I explore AI right now as well.
Okay. Now, what problem are you solving with what you're working?
Application of AI in software testing, because for software development, it's pretty straightforward because it's creating code. It's trying to create a code, which is pretty straightforward for AI because it's basically a text. In test automation or it's more closer to development because it's also writing a code that tests another code, but it's more complex because it adds some devices you're testing on, some browsers you need to launch, adds more complexity. So it's a little bit more complex than that. But for example, application in manual testing, when you basically have to open a device and test it, when you have to think how users behave, how real customers will behave. So that's a challenge, right? So it's even more complex because it's not about writing a code or generating text. It's actually thinking and really testing something, executing your tests on a device or a browser or whatever that application is available at. So that's basically why it adds complexity, and it's pretty new, and that's the problem. The problem is how to apply AI for testing.
Got it. All right. So tell me a little bit about like what makes, well, one, do you have employees at this time?
So I work at the company, the existing company, and I'm a manager there. I'm responsible for software testing. So I have people working under me, but it's not my company. That's the company.
So perfect. Tell me about the company that you work for, and tell me what, like, as a leader, as a manager, what you do there. It's like, what's your role?
So my role is actually I manage testing.
Okay.
I'm responsible for testing. Okay. And the product is the application that connects customers with providers. So the company develops aesthetics products, and it's not just selling those products. That would be very simple, right? So the company had decided at some point, we need to create a loyalty program on one hand, and also another thing that we're so.
Oh no. I lost you for a second. Arthur, are you there?
Okay, something is getting back. Yeah, seems like I lost connection, but now I'm back. Yeah. Where
Okay.
did you leave me?
I can't see you anymore. Oh, there you are.
Let
Whew, okay. Glad you're back. So you had me at creating a customer loyalty program. And if I remember correctly, because you said it's called Ale,
Ellie, yes.
Ali. I think my med spa uses it.
Correct. Yeah, so usually, so that's basically the application that connects med spas, like aesthetic businesses, with the clients. And clients on their end, they actually have a loyalty program. They have like
Mm-hmm.
options, they have gift cards, they can schedule appointment, they can look for providers on the map, and etc. So that's basically what drives the business, right? Because you have loyal customers, the customers can find providers, and if they find providers, the providers use your product that you actually develop and sell, right? So that's basically what applications create for. So, and yeah, so we're developing like software product that is actually driving the business, driving the sales, and driving the other businesses as well, because it helps those med spas find new clients as well, right? So that
Mm.
it connects
Okay.
together.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, so who does the hiring at your organization?
So, for example, in my department, I do.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about your team. What are they like? What type of people thrive in your team? How long do they usually stay? Tell me the things that you look for when you're looking to hire.
So one thing to what thing I like about this company is people tend to stay here because the great
Okay.
company, and I think what makes the company great is people. So the culture and the people, their professionalism will make the company great. And this is the company I'm proud of because what I like the best is people and their professionalism. This is the environment you feel like they're constantly growing. You're surrounded by professionals. Sometimes you can ask for advice. Sometimes they just help you on their own. And you actually feel great because you feel that you're growing and you're surrounded by people who know a lot, and they help you to grow as well. So that's basically what I like the most, the people.
It seems like there's a lot of like a team player environment, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think,
Good.
yeah, hiring means a lot because one of the most important things we take into consideration is cultural fit.
Yes.
How people will fit into the culture will be their team players, or will be their solo players, and etc. So I think team play is important. Sometimes people want to be solo players, just do stuff on their own, but there has to be a balance between that. So people still are part of the team, so they have to be team players as well. And we are carefully considering people that will fit into our culture. And culture is support, is professionalism, and helping others as well to grow. Not only thinking about
Okay.
yourself, but helping others as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell me how you're able to assess whether or not a candidate is a cultural fit when you're going through that interview process.
I think, um, we're trying to use different approaches,
Okay.
try to say like we want to use these like industry standards and the best approaches that are there right now in the industry, but it always comes to the end to your feelings. You just, when you
Okay.
have the ideal candidate, you already know that. I mean, like, you just feel that. You just say, okay, I like this person the most. and you ask other interviewers, and they say the same. I just like
Mhm.
this person the most. Why? Because you speak to that person and you feel right away that this is the person I want to work with. You are feeling comfortable with, and that's pretty much it, right? Because sometimes you have a great professional. Sometimes you have a person who has like 20 years of experience and they know everything you need for this job, but you don't feel confident doing the not confident. You don't feel comfortable during the interview, and that's pretty much it, right? You just don't feel comfortable, and you're not seeing yourself working with this person. So
Have
it's
you had that happen?
yeah, all the times. I mean, like if you interview a lot of candidates, that happens all the time. Sometimes you have a technically strong candidate, but it just doesn't fit, and that's pretty much
Mm.
it, right? And if you have a great person you want to work with, of course it has to be a balance. It still has to be a person with technical skills you're looking for, but on the other hand, it should be a person you're comfortable working with, and that's pretty much it.
Okay, that's a good response. I can get behind that. So, what has been your biggest challenge in growing the business? Like when you're hiring and you're expanding your team, what has been the biggest challenge?
The biggest challenge, if you grow rapidly, it probably becomes harder and harder to stick to that rule that we're looking for a best cultural fit. It's not always possible. So kind of like if you want to hire more and quickly, that's when you have to give up on something. And if you give up on the culture changes, and you get not the best candidates and etc. So sometimes it makes sense to slow down a little bit and maybe take more candidates into consideration, maybe keep looking for your ideal candidate rather than like just bringing a lot of people at once and just trying to solve that problem by just bringing a lot of people. So again, balance again. Sometimes rapid growth means changing the culture and getting as not higher standard candidates as you want, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I can see that happening. What would you say your biggest hiring mistake has been, and what did it teach you?
Um, Probably my biggest mistake, I think, hiring somebody you know. Sometimes it doesn't end up well
Okay.
because we have a bias always, and we have to avoid that because it happened to me in the past. We just were hiring a person that was working in another department. We used to work with that person, so we kind of knew that person already, and we enjoyed working with that person. But we were not paying as much attention as we should comparing to other candidates like coming from the market, right? So we
Got
hired
it.
a person, a person, and that person was not just performing well, just
Mm,
and yeah, we ended up actually letting that person go, but that was so unfortunate because we knew that person and the person was close to us. We used to work with that person from another department, right? And it was so unfortunate because we basically ended up with letting that person go instead of like enjoying and keep working with that person, but being in that department still, right? So what taught me that situation, what taught me is that we still have to consider every candidate equally. Doesn't matter if that person comes from the market or that person comes from the company that you work for already, because you still need that person to be a team player and perform well, right?
okay. What would you say are the hardest roles to fill in your department?
The hardest roles to fill. Okay, I think leadership roles, because
Okay.
sometimes people think that leadership or managing people, you just basically having your own vision and just giving people
Mm,
orders, something like that. I think that leadership is leading by example. You should show people what to do and show them an example. Sometimes if you want to show something, you want to jump on that task and just start doing that and showing, hey, this is how you do it. This is the approach I would suggest you to do. It will be easier for you. So always being a friend, being supportive. Another important thing is that leaders have to protect their people. So that person have to be mentally strong as well, because there's a lot of stress always. If you have some important project, businesses, there's a lot of stress. So you have to be stress resistant. Leaders have to be stress resistant because sometimes people you're leading or managing, they are not as stress resistant as you are, and they will have some stress, but they will come to you asking for a suggestion or feedback, and you have to be the person saying like, everything is okay, we'll get through it, this is what we will do, and you show them an example, and they will follow you. If they see that you're feeling confident, they will confident as well. So it's very hard to find those kind of like leaders.
It is. It's tough. They have to be very resilient. So how do you cope with the stress?
I mean, like, my approach is very simple, because what I think about any situation that happens, it already happened. It's in the past. So you have only present and future. And present is where you are right now, and the future is you don't know the future. And you basically, future will be your approach to it. If you just overcome that problem, this is the great future. If you don't overcome, that's a bad future. But the only option you have to have a great future, to have a positive future, is actually start doing something with that problem.
Yeah.
And you just do it, and that's pretty much it. So that's why you stay always positive. Whatever happened, it has happened already. There's nothing to worry about. You just think about future, you have the present, and you just accept it and say, let's do it. That's pretty much it. So that helps me understand that the only outcome I can have is a positive outcome. So let's just do it.
That's actually a good way to spin it. I like that. You can focus on the solution. The problem is it's done.
Yeah,
I love that. I'm going to write that on a sticky note.
And yeah, and this is important for leaders. Actually, I have a friend of mine, Rick. He's a development manager, and one thing he taught me is that he was taking responsibility for some problems he had no relation to, but he was always saying, "That's my bad, guys. I probably should have looked at that. So it's not your problem." So he was defending his people, saying that it's my problem, not your problem. On the other hand, nobody was blaming him because everybody knew that this is not his problem, actually, right? But he was defending his people. He was taking responsibility for that. So this is another example, right? Leaders, they actually understand, and they have to show example to other people that, okay, this is my approach. Let's not care about the past. Let's care about the future only. So this is what we're going to do. And that's pretty much it. So you lead people, you show them example, confidence, and that's pretty much it.
Mission focused.
Correct.
Noted. All right. So I love that, first of all, connecting with people on LinkedIn, it's so powerful. Like for me, the goal is always to, I get so much joy from doing that, connecting people with other people. But I want to know like how networking has been a part of your business community and how it's helped the company and even you, because you've done so much.
It's important. It's very important right now, even especially for people looking for jobs right now, right? The market is like super difficult right now because a lot of people are getting laid off. What they will be doing, they will be looking for jobs. So sometimes you can see that there's like 3,000 applicants to a job. Of course, it's very hard for somebody manually like over-reviewing all the resumes, right, and candidate profiles. So sometimes use AI. So if people use AI, you don't know how they use AI. Maybe that prompt will exclude you from the search completely.
Yes.
I don't know. So networking became another approach for people to actually get jobs, get co-founders for their businesses, because it's a lot of people out there. And by actually going to some events or sometimes jumping on these calls, why? You have 30 minutes, let's jump on a call and just talk to a person you never talked to you before. Why not?
Yeah.
Be open-minded, right? So networking is very important right now, even is more important than it was before.
I love that. That's a great piece of advice, actually, for those who are going to be watching this, to definitely take advantage. It's a free resource. I always say if there's a networking event, you have to be there.
Correct.
You have to be there. Let's see, something fun. Well, like I said, I found you and I love the trajectory of your career and I love what you're doing. What's your proudest moment?
Proudest moment? I had a lot of proud moments.
The biggest one.
The biggest one, it's always about overcoming the problem.
Okay.
Always. So, because, right now, what I do is I actually lead the project that is responsible for 90% of the company's revenue, right? So it means
no pressure.
yeah, if something fails, it fails completely, right?
Yeah.
So the proudest moment is that, I jumped on this project, I knew nothing. And I'm proud
Wow.
of myself that I was able to learn everything that I needed to be successful in this role. That's what I'm proud of, because you scared, but then, okay, again, same approach. There's nothing to worry about the past. I have only future, and the only thing I can do is do my best, right? So I do my best. I learn whatever I need. I explore. I just try to understand what I can do better in this role, and I just do it. Maybe I will not achieve 100% of my goals, but I will definitely better than I was before or yesterday.
Absolutely.
So I'll just continue doing that, and that's it. So what I'm proud of, I was able to do this, right?
You should be. You
And
are
then
self-taught.
yeah, and then you end up at the point when everybody coming to you and say, "Hey, what I do with all of this? You're the only person who knows this," and then you're proud of yourself because you really understand that 2 years ago you was the same person that and that person, right? That who's asking,
Yeah.
and today you're the person that everybody comes to and asks, "Hey, how do I do this?" Right? So you're proud of yourself, and this is what I'm proud about right now, because I overcame that problem, and right now I feel super confident, and there's so much things
I'm
to
proud of you too. Good
thank.
job, Arthur. That's big. Now, for somebody like, let's say it was me and I'm interested in getting into your industry and I don't know anything about it, much like you said, I have no idea where to start. Like, what did you do to take the steps to become more knowledgeable and figure it out along the way? What would your advice be for that person?
Start today. Don't wait for tomorrow to be more prepared. Just start today by learning a little bit, right? So let's say you want to get into tech industry in general, right? Take some courses. I mean, like, take a course that will teach you how to do that, not to learn how to do it like theoretically, but actually that gives you an example, like working maybe on some small project or something like that.
Mm,
Or you are graduating from a university or a college, you can be an intern. Often companies look for interns. Go and learn. Don't wait for tomorrow. Don't say, okay, I want to learn till the end. I want to take this course and that course and learn more and more and more. And because you're afraid of going to the job market and looking for the first job. No, start learning today, start looking for a job today. If you're a nice person, just be positive. If you're a nice person, people give you that chance.
yes.
People give you
Okay.
that. Yeah, so you start just doing, start. So my general recommendation would be start today. Don't wait for tomorrow.
Don't wait. It's like that question when people say, like, when is the right time to have kids? There's no time.
Yes.
It's just gonna happen.
Yeah.
You're never prepared. Same way, and I tell people, same with your career. And you can start 20 years from now, much like investing, and then regret that you didn't invest back in 2008.
Correct.
I
Absolutely.
love that. So here's the biggest question, and please think about the response. I want you to be super honest. It's a difficult question to answer, okay? If you could have one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
It would be a Cobb salad.
Really? Why?
So my approach was very simple. I was trying to just came up with something that will have just balance of like protein and some veggies and blah blah blah. So that's why, because it will help me to last longer, right? So that's basically what my approach was. Because
It has everything.
yes, that's why. So it has some meat, it has some veggies as well, and yeah. So I would probably be able to last longer on that meal.
See, so you know why I asked you that question?
No.
It's logical. To me, it'll tell me a little bit about you.
Got it.
And that tells me that you think 10 steps ahead. It wasn't about, oh, what meal makes me feel happy right now. You thought about it long term, which means you're probably very strategic. You make educated decisions. And see, it's a simple question. Am I
Got it.
wrong?
No, that's a very good question, actually. Yeah. It shows how you
Yeah.
think, right?
And it's fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, if somebody had to come work for you, Arthur, what do you want them to know about the company that you're with and what you do? Why would you say, hey, you want to come work here? This is the place to be.
People. People.
Oh,
It's always the answer is people. If you go to the interview, let's say, right? It's not only about the company looking for you, it's also about you looking for a company. You have to actually understand that this is the best company for you as well. So you just go to the interview, talk to those people, and you feel, oh my God, those guys are great. I want to work with them. So that's the thing about your future work is people. If you're not looking for specific technologies, you will learn whatever you need. You're
yeah.
looking for people, because this is something that will be surrounding you for next years. And if you have a great team, you have great people surrounding you, professionals you can learn from, that's what you're looking for. Always people. And again, sometimes you leave a company, but people will stay with you. Somebody will become your friend, right? So always look for people you will be working with, not technologists, not salary, benefits, people, always people.
I love that. That's a good philosophy. Thank you so much for your time and for taking a chance to talking to some stranger on LinkedIn about your career trajectory. It's a pleasure and here at your service, and I will be picking your brain in the future again and again, probably.
Thank you, no problem.
Anything exciting that you have going on for fourth?
No, actually, we were planning about, going to camping maybe, and then overstaying in the city, and going to some party and watching fireworks. So we haven't decided that yet, actually.
Well, don't forget to have fun. We work very hard. You deserve the fun.
Always. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Arthur.
Thank you, Bella.
I'm going to end the recording now.
Okay.